Now we move up to the thoracic cavity, which is the chest region, and then even up into the neck a little bit so that we can see the difference between the esophagus and the trachea. There are going to be a lot of glands that we're going to cut right through due to the level of 10th grade biology. We don't get into a lot of those glands, but if they were to take an anatomy class, they would see more of that as well. All right, so the cut will then continue up into the neck, typically go into that region there. And then we're going to do another cut up and above the top of the piggy's arms. And this will just release some of that tension, allow us to see further into the organs. I like to use a scissors with the blunt side rather than the pointy side to go onto that top of that heart and kind of break through the ribs there. And much to the ick factor of my students, I like to push down, break through some of that so that we can really see some of the stuff that we're looking at in the heart and the lungs. This also allows us to get at this upper neck region and tease through some of that stuff to find the various parts. Again, using pins along the way just to secure the pig down so that we're able to see as much as we possibly can. All right, so what we have done now is unveiled the heart with the lungs around it. So in a pig, there's actually these 4 lobes of the lungs that kind of give a little squeeze to the heart. Here, the heart has already had its pericardium, peritoneum kind of away from it. And so a lot of times on the heart itself, you're going to be able to see a difference in the coloration between the atrium, the top chambers of the heart, and the ventricle. Not always. So you can see with this heart, it's a little bit just kind of dark brown all around. Just make sure we got a good view. Yeah, we'll turn it this way so you can see. So these kind of top flaps here are our atria. We think of the pig as if having a left and a right hand. And so if we were laying on this tray, this over here would be the piggy's right hand, and this would be the left hand. And so this would be the right atrium and the right or left atrium on this side then. And you can see right down the center of the heart is kind of a line there. In other pigs, this lower portion of the heart is going to be a little bit lighter, and you'll see that distinction a little bit easier. So this then would be its right ventricle and then the left ventricle. The students have already learned the parts of the heart in our last unit on body systems, and they've also learned the flow of the heart, or flow of blood through the heart. So we've got our right ventricle on this side. Additionally, because the heart is a muscle itself, left atrium up on top, there we go. Left ventricle down below. So the line in the middle and other blood vessels that are on top of the heart would be our coronary arteries. And so that line that we see traveling there, so this is the artery that carries blood to the muscle of the heart itself, since that needs to be fed as well. And so we've got our right atrium on the top over here. Do we not have a flag for lungs?
There's no
Doesn't
lungs.
look like it. Okay, well,
I guess that's because they're the most obvious.
hopefully our kids will know that. So yeah, again, just that this is the lung region. So we've got 1, 2, and then 3, 4 kind of lobes of the lungs there. All right, so that is the heart flow. Now into the neck region. Now the neck region has so much stuff going on that you're going to need to find the trachea, or the larynx, which is the voice box, and that is going to be this kind of hard, round region up here. And once we get the muscular stuff and some of those glands out of the way, we will be able to unveil then the trachea. Now the trachea is lined with the cartilage rings to keep it open at all times. This is the air pipe. As you can see really clearly, those lines. Students will have a hard time finding this because they won't dig in here enough. And actually digging into the larynx, voice box, and the trachea isn't going to hurt it. They are structures designed to take that beating and stay intact. Now, directly behind the trachea, you're going to find the flexible food tube of the esophagus. And so you can see here, that one is shut until the food bolus travels down it. The trachea remains open because of those cartilage rings. So a lot of times we will have students identify those two by looking into the neck region. Again, this is our esophagus and the trachea and the larynx, which is the Piggy's voice box. The final thing, which we didn't put a flag on earlier, we had cut through it already. The diaphragm is going to be the thing, this muscular structure that we've already cut through that separates the chest region from the abdominal region. And it's that muscle that when it contracts, it shortens, so it pulls air into the lungs. And when it relaxes, it expands, and that's what pushes up against the lungs to cause the individual to exhale. There we go. That's the pig dissection in a nutshell. Please know that the instructors you're working with are more than willing to help you with any questions you might have along the way, are willing to give you a quick help, and we'll put all of the worksheets with answer keys available